Casting Crowns the Very Next Thing Tour with I Am They. It's an evening you won't want to miss.
Saturday, March 17th, Effingham Performance Center. Reserve seat tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com/EPC 800-745-3000 or the box office. Sponsored by Balda Dental.
Real Life Radio, 90.9 The Vine.
90.9 The Vine, in conjunction with AreaSports.net, proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is the area's only locally produced weekly sports show that is live on FM radio and also streamed live on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and WVYN.org. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. And hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch here, live on a cold Saturday morning. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Ounceman, and hello to those of you who are watching on our live video feed this morning as well. Danny, it seems like we just got done finishing the holiday tournaments, and now it's time to jump into the midwinter tournaments.
It's tournament time everywhere, it seems like.
It is.
There's a midwinter tournament about everywhere this week.
There's a lot of tournaments in the area, all starting this week, weather permitting. And we'll preview a lot of those tournaments this morning. We'll talk to coaches involved in a lot of those tournaments this morning, too, on the Sports Couch. We're going to have Tyler Buss, head coach of the Mount Carmel Aces, on the show with us. They'll be one of the teams involved in the Carmel Invitational Tournament. And it'll be interesting to see what they've been up to this year, Danny.
Yeah, that Mount Carmel Aces team's missing one of their key cogs, but they've been very competitive night in, night out, and the winning tradition just continues.
Erik Stallman, the head coach of the Christopher Bearcats. They've had an interesting season so far, some ups and some downs, but definitely some success along the way. And we'll talk to him this morning on the Sports Couch, too.
Got one of their key players back on Monday.
That's going to make a big difference,
their
too.
Their six-point guard has been able to rejoin the team from an injury, and they'll head over to West Frankfort this week. Yeah,
West Frankfort midwinter tournament. You think Eric's going to be smiling about having that guy back?
I'm sure he is. Let's see. They played the other night. They beat Goreville on Thursday night.
Right, big win.
Big win at Goreville, 81-76.
Yeah, you don't go into Goreville and win too often unless you're playing some good basketball. Also, Okawville Rockets, they, of course, will host their own midwinter tournament beginning this week. And that's one of those round robins again, too, where you are guaranteed to play 4 games. Coach John Kraus of the Rockets will join us this morning. Shane Garner, head coach of the Sesser-Valier Red Devils, also going to join us this morning. He'll be one of the teams involved in the BIT, the Benton Invitational Tournament.
Yep, that'll be kicking off over there.
Jerremy Varner and the Hamilton County Foxes, they'll also be in that BIT, and Jeremy's got the Foxes playing pretty well.
Playing much better basketball down there, and he's got a little bit of depth, and his young kids are really coming on, and he's got a freshman, folks. His name's Robbie Morgan. Keep your eye on this young man because he's going to be special.
All right, so Coach Varner will join us as well. And then our final guest this morning will turn to a little girls' basketball this morning, and we'll visit with Todd Countryman, the head basketball coach at Flora, of the Flora Wolf Gals. Haven't had a chance to talk to Todd yet this year, but it's always a good time to talk with him and see what they're up to. I think that they might have that little Illini Conference tournament coming up soon, I think. We'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, the boys are playing this week. The girls are probably next week.
Yeah.
I don't think it coincides.
Right, so we'll talk to him about that, see how the season's going so far for the Wolf Gals. So all that and more on the way here on today's edition of the Sports Couch. 90 minutes of great local sports talk. There were some basketball games played last night despite the weather. A lot of cancellations, of course, but there were a number of games played. You can see those scores on our sports website at AreaSports.net. But we're going to let Danny run through those right now, and I'll get our first guest on the show.
All right. You have to go north and west to see action last night, but Anna Jonesboro defeated Sparta 46-42. Effingham St. Anthony keeps rolling along. They're going to be a team to reckon with in the postseason. 57-47 over Breeze Mater Dei. Highland beat Triad 44-41. Mascoutah 60, Jabot 47. Redbud defeated Lebanon 50-35. Odin kind of surprised Christ-Star Rock last night, 54-32. Greenville beat Piazza Southwest 48-45. Litchfield 67, Gillespie 44. Rantoul 70, Mattoon 61. Mahomet Seymour 68, Effingham 56. In a game that I don't really know if it was a surprise or not, but anytime T-Town loses, Randy, it's kind of a big deal. St. Joe Ogden beat them last night, 69-60.
And Ogden led that game almost the entire way, I believe, although it was close all the way through, but they led almost wire to wire.
And Shelbyville beat Tuscola 74-54.
So those were all the games around the region last night. Not as many as what you'd normally have, certainly, on a Friday night, as weather certainly played havoc, and that bugs the athletic directors because they got to reschedule everything.
Well, a lot of those games got pushed up to Thursday night.
Right. A lot of them were played on Thursday night. And then also you got to consider all the logistics with the officials, too.
Well, that gets to be the issue right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, folks, this officiating deal is going to be a crisis.
Yeah.
You can just see this bomb coming.
It already is, and it's going to get worse, I'm afraid, with so many guys retiring and not enough young guys coming along.
So when you're sitting up there in the stands and you're yelling and carrying on and being a little bit to the stupid side with these guys, you might want to take that into consideration, because if you don't like the job they're doing, go get your shirt and come out there and try.
Right. Well, I know one basketball coach that's probably never disagreed with a referee in his life.
Never.
That's Coach Tyler Buss of the Mount Carmel Aces. He joins us right now. Good morning, Tyler. How are you?
Doing great, guys. I wonder if that was just a coincidence, you guys talking about officiating as I'm I don't know how I'm going to take that.
Yeah, well, no, it was just a coincidence. Yeah, it surely was. But no, would you agree? Can you jump in on that? There is a crisis with officiating right now. We don't have enough officials, do we?
Well, no doubt about it. Now that I've added the AD hat to my many hats that I wear at MCHS, that's you can see it coming. It's you get them when you can, and I'm trying to sign guys up through the next 5 years, because you're right. It just seems like too many are leaving and not enough are joining. And to be honest, I don't know why very many would want to join. It takes a special type of guy right now to get out there and run around and deal with some of the things they have to deal with. So, definitely got a better appreciation now that I'm, doing some athletic director work.
Yeah.
Well, talk a little bit about your Aces team. You're going to head down to Carmel, White County this week, Tyler, and what should be another great week of basketball down there at that Carmel tournament.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Big week for us. We've kind of had some ups and downs throughout the year. Not playing very consistent. I keep telling people, our good is pretty dang good, but when we don't play very well, it doesn't look very good. So we're still kind of trying to learn how to do some things, without some of the pieces we've lost here, from last year's team. But this seems to be the week where we really start playing well. Over the past few years, we've had a lot of success down in Carmel, and our kids like playing it. I love going down there, and we're excited to go down there and compete.
Well, it's nice for your team to come in and play some Illinois schools. You compete over there in that Indiana conference, and I'm sure it's nice for you to get to come and play some Illinois schools.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We have such a heavy dose of Indiana on our schedule, especially early in the season. So it's nice to get down and see some of those teams that you could see in a regional or sectional. So, like I said, it's an important week for us if we want to, kind of try to get back in the mix of getting, a decent seed in that regional. We need to come down and play well at Carmel next week.
Well, that Carmel Bulldog team is playing some pretty good basketball. You got the Harrisburg Bulldogs; they're always strong, and your Mount Carmel Aces. So you got three pretty good teams looking to vie for that championship.
Yeah, and I think you can keep going right down the line. I think Fairfield, has the talent to be a very strong club as well, and Edwards County's playing better. So, it's such a grind of a week. We always tell our kids, each game, each night's going to bring something just a little bit different, and you got to be ready to go each night. Because, and I know that's coach speak, and everybody says that, but it is the truth. Especially in a format where you're going to play 5 games in 6 days. There's going to be nights you don't shoot it very well, and there's going to be nights you turn it over too much, and you're dog tired, and you just got to find ways to win. And it's like I said, it's a grind of a week, and it's usually whoever kind of can be the toughest team late is going to come out there with the win.
They got a nice facility there at Carmel. It's very fan friendly to watch basketball games, and just a great atmosphere to play in, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was fortunate enough to spend 2 years at Carmel, and love the people down there. It's always good for me to get back and be able to talk to Bart King and Kurt Simon and Jared Newell and all those guys I was able to spend a lot of time with over those couple of years. And then, my brother-in-law and probably one of my best friends is coach at Carmel. So, we get to have a nice heated battle there on the Saturday night. But, it's a great tournament. not good for the New Year's diet with that hospitality room because it's it's top notch. But they do it right. They take care of us coaches. They take care of us kids, and it's just a good week.
Well, let's talk about your personnel a little bit because you have had to make the adjustment due to injuries and the personnel that you lost from graduation and stuff too. Talk about some of the key guys that have had to step up for you this year and the people you're leaning on.
Yeah, well, we got our 3 guards back from our semifinal team last year. Braden Stibbs, our point guard. He's kind of our steady hand. He's just had the ball in his hands now for the better part of 3 seasons. And, he can score it. He can get it to the right people. He's kind of that steadying force that it seems like, when he plays really well, that's when we're at our best. And then, on the perimeter with him, we got Austin Rager, a kid that can score in a lot of different ways. He's really played well since the Christmas break. He's averaging right around 15 a night and, able to get to the basket, has a nice mid-range game. And then Brett Doan's a kid that's really kind of made a nice step for us this year, shooting the ball tremendously from the perimeter, which he's always kind of been able to do that. But, his ability to kind of get to the basket and keep defenses a little more honest this year, I think, has helped him. And then, inside, obviously, we lost Justin Carpenter to Southeast Missouri State, and Jackson Marcotte's been out with a knee injury. So, we've kind of had to throw Caleb Appleby, our 6'6" freshman, into the fire, and he's a kid that has really gotten a lot better. I mean, he's still just 14 years old, and some of the things we're asking him to do, battling with, some of these guys we've seen in the Big 8, and he's a kid that's just done nothing but get better and better, and, it's been kind of neat to watch his progress. And then our 5th starter, Blake Golden, a kid that came off the bench for us last year that we're asking to do a lot more this year, probably our best defender, tough-nosed kid that, can rebound and do a lot of the dirty work that we've been missing since Justin and Jackson have been out. So, that's our starting 5, and those guys are the ones that are going to have to, continue to play well for us to make some noise here.
Is Marcotte going to make it back from that injury, or is he done?
Well, if I had $1 for every time I heard that question, I don't know. I hate to say yes or no right now. He's working very, very hard. I think if you asked him, he would have played, 2 weeks ago. But with his situation, having a Division I scholarship, we got to feel really good about that need to throw him back out there. But he's working hard. I think he's kind of on that. He sees some light at the end of the tunnel in terms of what his doctors are telling him. So we're just going to keep having him grind away, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and you mentioned Justin Carpenter, who's at SEMO. He's having some success down there at SEMO at the college level, isn't he?
He is. He worked his way into the starting lineup there, a little bit into the season, and he's playing well. I've got to see him, live once and on TV a couple times, and he is. He's doing a lot of the things that they're asking him to do. Doing a lot of the work around the basket. And, he's just so skilled, and he's put on, a good 15, 20 pounds like they normally do when you go to a Division I program. So I'm excited for him. That SEMO team, made a lot of strides here over the last couple of years, and I think he can be a big part of some success for them, over the next 3 years.
Well, can't let you go without talking about your sister Tyra and the special things that she's done there at Indiana, now becoming the all-time leading scorer in Indiana Lady Hoosiers basketball history. You and your family got to be so proud of her.
Oh, no doubt about it. Just a neat run for her. She's really playing some good basketball here of late. Their team has struggled a little bit. They play a lot of freshmen. They got 3 freshmen that are kind of learning the ropes in the Big Ten. But just super proud of her, and she's so crazy that it's her senior year, and she's breaking these records, and you just see the following she has after the games, all the special connections she has with Bloomington and the community, and all the kids that look up to her. It's been a fun ride. We'll miss hauling over on Interstate 69 over to Bloomington because we've had a blast. And, we're actually on our way right now to watch them play Ohio State.
All right,
it'll be a tough one today. I think Ohio State's ranked number 10 in the country, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, is there any coaching in her future, you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think she's made it pretty clear that she's going to try to keep playing as long as the game will let her. Anyone that knows her knows how much she loves the game. So, she's going to try to keep playing and kind of exhaust every avenue there. And then, I think with all her connections, she's definitely got a passion for coaching, and I can see that definitely being, a big part of her future as well.
Well, I think the role model that she's been for the younger girls has been something that's been extra special. And, there are so many girls that have looked up to her through the years, from our grade school and high school days all the way up through college. And I don't know if she really can comprehend the impact that she has had on so many young ladies and giving them that motivation to work hard in basketball or whatever it is they want to succeed in life.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's something she takes a ton of pride in. You know, she'll stay on that floor and take pictures and sign autographs, you know, until they shut the lights off on her, because she understands that, you know, that's a big thing, and, you know, much more important than anything she's done, you know, putting the ball through the hoop. You know, that's stuff that, you know, like you said, will last a long time for a lot of kids.
Right. Well, after the Carmel Invitational Tournament, what's next for the Mount Carmel Aces? Are you back in action there in the Big 8 Conference, or you have some more Illinois teams on your schedule regular season?
Yeah, we got 4 conference games left. So we'll get those done, you know, throughout the next few weeks after that. We still have some Illinois games with Lawrenceville. We'll go down to the bench shootout, and I believe play Marion, who, you know, Coach Weinmiller took care of us there and set us up with a nice matchup down there.
Right.
I had to text him and whenever the matchups came out and remind him that Marcotte was out, but, you know, I don't think that.
Right.
He was telling me the other night on Thursday night, we talked about that a little bit. He wanted to make sure I was going to get over there and cover some of those shootout games, and he said a game you might really want to look about doing is that Mount Carmel Marion game. He's got pretty high expectations for you guys. Yeah,
he does, and Ron's a really good friend of mine, and, you know, enjoy talking to him and things like that. And we love going down to Benton because again, anytime we can get some of that Southern Illinois flavor into our schedule, you know, I think it just benefits us going forward, you know, seeding purposes and all those sorts of things. So
yeah. Well, that'll be fun competing against Gus Gillespie. He's doing a great job at Marion in his first season, that's for sure, especially after winning that Carbondale holiday tournament too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, and I think everyone kind of knew, you know, that would be the case. You know, such a good guy, such a good coach. Don't really know him too well personally. Looking forward to chatting with him down there in Benton. But yeah, just a guy that's obviously, you know, had a ton of success anywhere he's been.
Yeah. You know, his roots actually go back to Lawrenceville. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. He actually played ball at Lawrenceville, so he goes back there. So yeah, you guys will have some things in common, I'm sure, and probably a lot of common people you'll know as well.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, hey, Tyler, it's been fun to have you on the show this morning. We appreciate your time, and best of luck next week as you prepare to compete down there at the Carmel Invitational Tournament, okay? And we'll talk to you down the line. All right?
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care. All righty, thank you. All righty, bye-bye. Coach Tyler Boss of the Mount Carmel Golden Aces on their way to Bloomington, Indiana to watch his sister Tyra play today against Ohio State.
Yeah, you know, what a thrill that has to be for those folks.
Yeah.
So she just keeps adding to that resume.
She's going to push that record way, way, way out there to where it's not gonna be reached.
It's going to be a long time if it does.
I mean, it'd been standing for 34 years the way it is. I mean, I can't imagine somebody else coming along that's going to be much better than her. You know, I mean, that's they're few and far between. And like he said, you know, what she does after the game, sticking around until they turn the lights off, you know, meeting with every little girl and taking pictures and doing autographs and stuff like that after every game, it's truly amazing. So,
yeah, you know, she's made quite an impact throughout her life so far. Yeah.
Hey, we're going to squeeze one more coach in on the show sometime in the next half hour. Erik Griffith just sent us a message, and he's on for later on today too, the head coach of the Meridian Bobcats. So we're going to try to squeeze 7 coaches in this morning. So I guess we better take a break so we can get back and talk to who we got next? Erik Stallman, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Christopher. All right, we'll talk to Erik coming up next. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Hamilton County Flooring on the south side of the square in McLeansboro offers a full line of flooring, cabinets, and countertops for your home or business. Countertops or showers are available in granite, quartz, corian, custom marble, or ceramic tile. Their showroom includes a complete line of flooring available in ceramic tile, cork, bamboo, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and carpeting, including name brands such as Armstrong, Bruce, Marazzi, Mulligan, Shaw, and Tarkett. We thank Hamilton County Flooring in McLeansboro for their support.
Support for 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio is brought to you by Bird Watson, located at 1200 Main Street in downtown Mount Vernon. They are more than just a store that offers medical equipment. They now have 2 new lines of products available: Vera Bradley brand bags and scrubs, along with shoes and scrubs from the Skechers brand. Their phone number is 618-242-2800. Bird Watson Downtown, more than just medical equipment.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net, where you can watch the show in studio, and we have live audio streaming as well on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio, along with Danny Ounceman. Christopher Bearcats, they've had an interesting season so far, and they just got one of their key players back, too, Danny, and I bet Coach Erik Stallman's probably smiling this morning. What do you think?
I'd say so. I think his team's 12-3 now in the season, Randy.
And got a big win a few nights ago against Goreville. Let's talk to him right now. Coach Stallman joins us. Good morning, Erik. How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch. And, you got to be excited about getting your big man back, huh?
Yeah, Jared Curry, he missed 7 games, I believe, for us. We survived that stretch with only 2 losses, so it wasn't, it wasn't as bad as it could have went for sure. So having him back was pretty tremendous. He played a little bit against Ziegler the other night. Just kind of got him out there and had him move around a little bit, and I think he played about 16 minutes, had about 15 or 16 points, something like that, and then came out and played the full game against Goreville. Played really well. He felt good. He had a pretty strong game for us. He's a difference maker for us. When you're 6'6" or 6'5", whatever he really is, and you're playing point guard in 1A basketball, that's a pretty big deal. Whenever you lose a guy like that, or whenever you put him back on the court, so we definitely missed him. But we've got a lot of good players around him. The team really stepped up in his absence. I think we actually got a little bit better while he was gone. Some of these kids found a little bit more of a role than what they may have had he been there the whole time, and hopefully we do well moving forward.
Well, you avenged that earlier loss to Goreville in the semifinals of the Sesser-Valier tournament. I think they got you 59-52 in the semis there, and so by beating them the other night, you kind of avenged that loss. And but you're right. Sometimes when you lose a key player to your team, the other guys learn to play without him for a little bit, and you step up, and it sometimes can make everybody better.
Yeah, I think it definitely gave a kid like Gage Hawkins for us, who's a junior. He's about 6'5". He's a post kid for us. He stepped in and he came off. He'd been coming off the bench for us early in the year, and that thrusted him into a starting role. And he actually had a great Sesser Holiday tournament. He made the all-tournament team. He averaged a double-double for the tournament. I think in one of the games he had about 27 points. So, it really gave him an opportunity to score the ball a little bit. And I think he realized, that's something he can continue to do for us, even though Jared's back. And it's definitely gave us a little bit more depth. The players were already playing, but it's now given us some depth that has some more confidence, I believe.
Well, after you lost that semifinal game to Goreville, then you bounce back and you play Woodlawn in third-place game. And, of course, that's always a great rivalry. And you win that one on a wild finish, 56-55. Talk about that game.
Yeah, that was. I'll be honest with you, that was just luck there at the end. Yeah, we had one kid throw it over his head backwards, and another kid came in by the rim and tipped it in. It ended up being a buzzer beater there, but it was. We had 3. I will say that we did rebound the ball. We had 3 shot attempts there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But the last one there, whenever it went in, anybody who's seen the film, it's comical. He grabs it and throws it over his head backwards at the goal, thinking the clock was running down, and it was. And another kid comes in, and Gabe Motzinger comes in and just taps it up there at the rim, and it goes in. So
rather be lucky is good.
Yeah, we'll take it. It's still a W, still a win, but it was definitely a lot of luck involved in that.
Well, your team's going to travel over to West Frankfort this week to compete in that midwinter tournament. Talk a little bit about your action over there coming up.
Well, it's a tough tournament for us. We won a regional last year and we're pretty good, and we go over there and we don't get a win. We went 0-4 over there, so it's definitely whenever there's only 2 1A schools in it, us and Cairo. And Cairo plays a pretty tough schedule as it is, and they're really good this year. So I think that hopefully we don't have have too much trouble. But definitely, it's a strong tournament, and it's pretty difficult for us. But hopefully, it gets us better and gets us ready for the postseason.
Well, and you get to play 4 games too, so no matter what, you play 4 games, which is going to help you.
Yeah, for sure. You're getting your 4 games in. We start off on Monday with West Frankfort, and they're sitting at about 3-10 or maybe 4-10, something like that right now. So that's a game we hopefully can get. They've got probably arguably their best player has been out for a few games, and I believe he'll be back playing Monday. So that'll be tough, and we'll see how that goes. And then El Dorado on Tuesday, which you guys know El Dorado's outstanding. So they beat us by about 40 over there last year. So we'll see if we can do a little bit better job this year with it. Then Friday is Anna Jonesboro, and they're playing pretty good also. They're 13-4. And they've got a really good player in Parr. He can really score the ball and do a lot of things. Big, strong body. And then on the crossover game on Saturday, you play somebody from that other pool, and that other pool is, it's pretty tough also. It's Cairo, Carterville, Heron, and Marion. So we'll see how it pans out. But hopefully it helps prepare us for moving into February and moving through the rest of the season.
Well, Coach, you're right there. There's no gimmies there at all. But your team matches up with that El Dorado team pretty good size-wise. That's a big challenge for a lot of teams, and now that you've got Curry back, I look at those two teams as they've got a little more beef than you've got, but you've got some kids that can challenge that El Dorado group.
Well, I hope so. I hope you're right. I'll take your optimism. But they're big and strong, and they're pretty darn good. But we do have some length. We have some size, and we'll see what we can do. This is probably the biggest team I've had. I can put, Bradley Young's about 6'4", Jared's about 6'6", Gage Hawkins is 6'5", Bryce Pratt's 6'2", and then I put a guard out there that's right around 6 foot. So everybody's over 6 foot or right at it. So we've got a pretty decent sized lineup for a 118. And I can bring a couple guys off the bench that aren't quite that tall, but it's still, we do have some length and we can do some things with it. And they are, like you said, we're not as beefy. We do get up and down and run. We're not gonna hold it. We're gonna get up and go. So we'll see how we match up with them.
Well, it should be a great week of basketball down there, and we want to wish you the best of luck down there. We appreciate your time here joining us this morning, and we'll try to get back with you sometime before regional tournament starts and get a little preview of more of your Christopher Bearcats.
Well, thank you. I think this is the first time I've been on here with you guys. So
The first time this year for sure. Yeah, I thought we had you on last year, but I think first time this year. But we'll have you back, Erik. All right. We appreciate your time.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, good luck. Take care. All righty. Bye-bye. Erik Stallman, head coach of the Christopher Bearcats, and you had a chance to see him play, of course, against your Hamilton County Foxes last week. It was 62-58. Christopher beat the Foxes in that game, Danny.
And they was without Curry in that game, but, his team likes to push the ball up and down the floor. He's got some other kids that are quite capable. The Mottsinger kid is kind of an unnoticed kid in that group. He had a nice game against the Foxes. Mm-hmm. So he's got a good team, and in 1A, he's going to be a tough out.
Yeah, and playing some good competition, too. There's another example of a 1A school playing some good competition in this West Frankfort midwinter tournament. He's going up against a lot of 2A schools. You're playing Anna Jonesboro, West Frankfort, El Dorado. That's some tough competition, any way you slice it. I mean, you could go in there and play well and go 0-3 in those first, 3 games, and then you're going to, play somebody in the crossover game. And so, I mean, really, you can go in there, play well, and go 0-3.
That's mostly a 2A, 3A field.
It is.
And got 2 1A teams, but
Cairo and Christopher,
they're 2 pretty good 1A teams.
Yeah, Cairo's playing pretty good basketball this year, that's for sure. Hey, when we come back, we're going to visit with Coach John Kraus of the Okawville Rockets. Talk about his team and his upcoming midwinter tournament as well. All that on the way right here on the Sports Couch.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Music and ministry on the Vine is provided by Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency in Mount Vernon. Tony Wilt State Farm Insurance Agency specializes in providing your life, health, auto and home insurance, as well as complete financial services. They are located at 4121 South Water Tower Place in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 242-1421, and their website is TonyWilt.com. We are grateful for their underwriting support.
This is your home for best Christian music.
WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music. 90.9 The Vine.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon. B&C Bicycle Fitness specializes in bikes for the beginning rider to the high-end racer and can equip you with a comfortable bike to enjoy a healthy, active lifestyle with family and friends. B&C Bicycle Fitness is a full-service bicycle shop and is located at 410 South 27th Street in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 816-4077. B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon, where the adventure begins.
Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jagger's Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jagger's Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home. They will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jagger's Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon. Welcome back to the Sports Couch. Here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net. And live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Ounceman. A lot of midwinter basketball tournaments starting next week, and again, another one of those is going to be the midwinter tournament at Okawville, and head coach of the Okawville Rockets, John Kraus, joins us right now. Good morning, John. How are you doing?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Great. Good to have you on the show, and let's talk about the Rockets season so far. How things are going overall for you?
Not too bad. We got off to a real good start early in the season and had a tough time at the Modern Day tournament. We played really well. We lost. I think we ended up going 2-3 in that tournament, but our last two losses, we lost 4 overtimes to Mascoutah, and then the next night we lost double overtime to Modern Day. So we've had some tough losses.
Oh, yeah.
Games that could have went either way. And I think where we're at right now is about where I thought we'd be. Maybe just a little bit ahead of where I thought we might be. I think our best basketball is ahead of us yet, so that's a good sign.
Well, that Modern Day tournament, the competition is pretty stiff, and you can go in there and play really, really well and come out with 2 or 3 losses easily, and that's kind of what happened to your Rockets. But, man, those overtime games, those were nail-biters, weren't they?
Yeah, they are, and especially in a tournament like that where you're playing 5 games in 4 days, and, we don't have a lot of depth this year, and so those 2 games are really, really hard for our kids. By that time of the last 2 games, you're tired anyway, and then you got to play basically. We played 6 extra quarters in those 2 games the last 2 days, so it was tough on our kids. And then we lost both of those games, but we learned a lot from that week, and that's going to help us down the road.
Well, your midwinter tournament at Okawville starts this coming Monday night. You got 5 teams in that tournament, so everybody's guaranteed 4 games. Kind of a round-robin style. You got not only your own Rockets, but you got DuQuoin, Madison, Waterloo, Jabot, and Trenton Westland in that tournament. So some good competition, certainly.
Yeah, I think this is going to be probably the most balanced tournament that we've had. As far as teams that are capable of beating each other, and obviously I think Westland. Everybody would probably agree that Westland is probably the favorite of the tournament. They have a really good team this year, and they're off to a great start. But I also think that if you ask all the coaches in the tournament, they tell you that anybody in that tournament can beat anybody any night. And that always makes for a fun tournament for fans and for coaches and teams as well.
I've not seen Trenton Westland play this year, so tell me a little bit about their team. Do they have some size, or are they mainly guard-oriented, or what?
They do. They have good size. They probably start 6'2", 6'2", 6'4", 6'4", 6'6". They got a real good overall size. They all can shoot the ball a little bit. Big, strong, physical kids that can play inside, outside. So they got a really good balanced ball club. They've been playing, basically been playing varsity basketball since they were sophomores. So they've been through a lot. They won a regional last year, got to a sectional. So, they're a very experienced team, and you put that together with their size and their ability to shoot the basketball and play different spots. They're very difficult out.
Well, Coach, like you said, just about any night, anybody over there could beat anybody. That DuQuoin team, I saw them play the Foxes last week. They've got the 6'7" sophomore up there. They're a very young team. They've got 3 sophomores that play quite a bit in that group, so they could be a dangerous team.
Absolutely. I have not actually seen them play live yet, but everything I've heard and stuff, just like you're talking about, they're very capable on any given night of beating anybody. I know they played Westland, I think, and lost to them by 3 or 4 points. So, that shows you that they're right there with any of them on any given night. And so that's what makes the tournament, I think, going to be one of the better tournaments that we've had.
Well, I'm sure Madison's just as athletic as they always are, too, right?
They are. They're they've been playing a lot of this year so far with 2 of their better players out with some injuries. And the word is they're going to be back for this tournament this week. And if that's the case, yeah, they're going to be very difficult to beat. They're kind of in the same boat. They've had some young kids that have been playing for a few years now, and they got some new coaches that seem to be doing a really good job with them. And I look for them to be tough every night.
And a team that's always tough there will be your Okawville Rockets. You're on your home court in that great facility you have there, and I'm sure you'll have some big crowds over there this week.
Yeah, we're hoping so. I mean, we're hoping that the competition and, the games, the quality of games, every 2 games on every night are going to bring a lot of fans in. And we usually get good turnouts from our people, and the other teams bring their fans as well. But, we're hoping it's a good turnout for this week, and we're hoping that we play well at our own tournament and, it goes well.
Yeah, your Okawville Rocket team made the trip to the Benton Invitational for several years there, and always miss seeing you guys play over there because it's definitely added a competitive nature to that tournament.
Yeah, since we've left that tournament, I've not been able to get back, down there to watch any games. And, I've said this for many years, and I've missed that tournament through the years. I've spent 30 years of my life at that tournament every midwinter. So, you don't go do those things anymore. It's something that I kind of miss. But, it was a fun tournament. It was a fun week for our kids. It was a long, grueling week for us. We spent a lot of time on the bus, and it was a difficult week, but it was also a fun week, and it was a week that you learned a lot about your basketball team, playing different types of teams and different types of styles.
Have you had a chance to get over to Evansville to watch any of the Purple Aces games this year?
Yeah, we've gone over there. I've gotten over there a couple times. Got down to SIU when he was down there, and so we follow a lot of games on the computer. We watch a lot on my computer at home. And,
sure.
And stay in touch. But he's doing real well. We're real proud of him. So hopefully those things keep going for him, and he keeps doing better.
Yeah, that's got to make you proud, really, to have one of your former players doing so well at Division I level, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. He's the first kid that I've had that's got a Division I scholarship, and to see the success that he's had, hopefully we had a little bit to do with that. And if we did, then good for him. And he's put a lot of time into it. He's put a lot of work and effort into it. And he's starting to see the benefits of all that hard work and time and the stuff that he's done along the way. And having a real good freshman year.
Well, I think you had a lot to do with Mr. Frederick King and his success moving on. And of course, you got another Frederick King there, too, in Caleb right now.
Yeah, he got his younger brother, a senior for me this year, has been playing. He played quite a bit as a sophomore, and he played last year for us on our team. They got second state, so he's having a good season for us, doing some things real well. He's our point guard, got good size. So, everything's gone real well for him this year.
Does he feel some pressure because of the success that his brother Noah had? Is that pressure on Caleb?
Maybe. It may be one of those things that he puts more on himself.
Okay.
I don't know. You'd have to probably, sit down and really talk to him about it. I know it's not an ideal situation. It's tough. Because I can tell you that nobody works harder at their game than Caleb. Caleb spends more time in the gym than probably any kid I've coached in 20 years. I mean, he's in there all the time, and he's working on his game. And so he wants to be really good. And his brother just had a lot of natural ability, and And so it might be tough, and I think some of that might be just Caleb putting that pressure on himself to try to be, to be as good as Noah was. And, but I don't really know if I see it from other people. I don't think anybody else really. We as coaches, they're different types of players.
Yeah.
So it's a different mindset there for us.
Right. Did you have a game that was rescheduled last night because of the weather?
Yeah, we did cancel our game last night, but we have not come up with a date yet for our reschedule. We'll work on that this week. When we see them in our tournament, we'll come up with something. It'll probably be within the next couple weeks.
Yeah, okay. Hey, John, we'll let you go. We appreciate your time this morning on the Sports Couch, and keep up the good work, and good luck next week in your own tournament, all right?
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, you bet. Take care. Bye-bye. Head coach John Kraus of the Okawville Rockets, and that's a pretty good lineup he's got in his tournament this week. And again, you're guaranteed 4 games, but I agree with him. I think just about anybody can win that tournament.
All it takes is somebody to go put about 3 or 4 good games together over there. And,
you've seen DuQuoin play. You know what they're capable of. You got Okawville, you got Trenton Westland, you got Madison. I mean, you never know.
Madison's getting 2 kids back that ain't been playing.
Right.
That makes them even more dangerous.
Right.
So, it should be a great week of basketball over there. Well, really, Randy, when you look at all these midwinter tournaments, you're thinking, wow, I wouldn't care to go see this game or see that game.
Right.
And there's just going to be a lot of great basketball play this
Absolutely.
week.
Hey, you want to run through the scores again, and we're going to try to squeeze Coach Griffith in from Meridian, okay?
All right. Some Friday night games that got moved to Thursday night. Hamilton County defeated Johnson City 47-34. Centralia over Marion 62-50. Carbondale makes the long trip to Althoff, and they put another loss on Althoff 63-58. Down at Goreville, Christopher Bearcats go down there on homecoming night and defeat Goreville 81-76. Nashville was 10 better than DuQuoin, 51-41. Pinckneyville over Carterville, 67-33. Sesser-Valier, tuning up for the BIT, defeats ZR, 68-25. Odin, 68. Ramsey, 56. Nokomis, 61. Vandalia, 47. So, there was a lot of good Friday night basketball moved to Thursday night. Looking at some other scores from Thursday, Wayne City beat Gallatin County in a game Randy did, 54-36. DuQuoin beat Hamilton County on Tuesday night, 45-42. And Carmel over Edwards County in a squeaker, 56-54.
All right, and as promised, we're going to squeeze an additional guest in this morning that we didn't have originally scheduled or listed on Twitter or on our website, and that is Coach Erik Griffith of the Meridian Bobcats. He'll be involved in that BIT tournament starting next week in Benton. He joins us right now. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Great. Good to have you on the show, and let's talk about your Meridian Bobcats and how the season's going for you so far. I know you play a tough schedule.
Oh, yeah. We are currently 8-8, scheduled to play Madison this evening at 8 o'clock in our MLK Classic, so it doesn't get any easier for us. But,
No, we was just talking to John Kraus, and he thought Madison's had a couple young men missing, but they were going to be available for his tournament over there this week. I wonder if they're going to play tonight.
I hope they don't. I'd rather Coach Kraus deal with them than we have to deal with them before the BIT.
Right.
I like your way of thinking, Coach.
Well, you were also in the Carbondale tournament this year too, so you saw some tough competition there at Christmas time, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for us. We got to play our last 3 games on the arena floor. Played Saxony Lutheran out of Jackson, Missouri, which is one of the top 3A teams in Missouri, and we got to match up with Murfreesboro and Carbondale, which, for a 1A school, a small 1A school, you can't ask for much more than that out of the schedule.
Right.
Well, Coach, just to get to play on that floor, that had to be a very good experience for your kids.
Oh, yeah. Some of them got more minutes on the floor in those 3 games than I did in my 5 years at SIU. So that was I don't know if that was a plus or a minus, but it was a great experience for those guys.
That's great.
We'll talk a little bit about your trip up to the BIT this week. Your team joined in that Fralou over there last year. Had to be a good experience for you, and looks like it's going to be another great week of hard-fought basketball.
Oh, yeah, it's, 5 different styles of basketball, an opportunity for us to, get better, not just from a coach's from a team standpoint, from my standpoint as well, because it does a great job of preparing us for the postseason. Great coaches there, great teams, great tradition, and it's just going to be a good week of basketball all the way around.
Talk a little bit about some of your key players.
We got 5 guys that played quite a bit for us, all started at one point or another last year. 2 seniors that are, no strangers to Southern Illinois basketball at this point, and Darnell Lowe and DeMarion Nicholson, they're 3-year starters. They were in the rotation as freshmen on that 2015 team that got us second. Great players, great kids. They work hard. They've been great leaders for us, and they've done a really good job of setting the tone. 2 other seniors that are in the starting lineup with them, Jaquan Jones and Damon Vassar, great athletes, great offensive players. Both of them are capable of carrying us at any night, scoring-wise. Junior Eddie Robertson is probably our best scorer. He just has a knack for putting the ball in the basket. He started, a handful of games for us last year, got a lot of experience last year. And we bring in junior Norris Young and senior Jaleel Amerson off the bench for us. Guys that are quick, can get out and guard, can score the ball, can handle the ball, can pass it. So, it gives us a little bit of versatility.
I can't believe you got some kids at Meridian that are quick.
We're not as quick as teams pass, but we're a little bit. We got some length, and that makes a little bit of difference. It covers for a lot of problems.
You always got a kid or two that is just lightning fast down there, and I love to watch your team play. Also, I was going to tell you, pass along your fans. I'll be over there at the BIT this week, and if they can't make the trip up, I'm going to cover on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to cover 2 games each night, and then we'll have all 6 games on Saturday from the BIT there on foxesfans.net.
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. So, any of your fans that can't get to Benton, they can watch the games live with video streaming on foxesfans.net, okay?
Okay, we'll make sure we'll pass that on to them.
Yeah. Your first game Monday night, right out of the gate at 5:30, you open up the tournament against Sesser-Valier. What do you know about Sesser?
They're going to be well coached with Coach Garner and his staff. He does a great job with those guys. They're going to be very prepared. They're going to, play their style of basketball, and they're going to try their best not to vary away from it. We've developed a really good rivalry, a good friendly rivalry with Sesser since I've been at Meridian. I always look forward to playing against them. And what better way than to start it off against, one of the better teams and better coached teams in the South. That's the great thing about the BIT. There's no off nights. Even if a team may be in the middle of a down year, anything can happen. Because just think of the number of great teams that have came into the Benton tournament and didn't win it. The 91 Foxes, went over and ended up 3rd in state. So, it's a pretty good test for, what you're going to do in the postseason if you can go up there and compete and knock some teams off.
Yeah, it's a grueling week of basketball. They made a few improvements there around the gym, and there'll be a pretty nice atmosphere of basketball this week.
Oh yeah, it's a great place to play, and just a tradition of Rich Herron Gymnasium. I got the opportunity to play for Coach Herron, and anybody that's been around Southern Illinois basketball for any length of time, that Benton's tradition is right up there with Pinckneyville's and Centralia's as far as just decades of winning and excellence. So it's a great opportunity for Meridian to be a part of that tournament.
Well, Coach Griff, we appreciate your time this morning and wish you best of luck next week in the BIT, and we'll be talking to you down the line, and good luck, all right?
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. It's Coach Erik Griffith, the head coach of the Meridian Bobcats. They're in the BIT, and they'll open with Sesser on Monday night.
I tell you what, that's a dangerous team right there.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming in there with an 8-8 record, but you look at the teams he's played. Yeah. My, oh, my. I challenge some 1A team to show me they've got a tougher schedule.
Yeah, they played Saxony, like you said, that team down at the Carbondale tournament, and they also got to play Carbondale and Murfreesboro and got to play 3 games on the arena floor, so
but what's shaping up again?
Well, they won't come into the BIT intimidated. Let's put it that way.
Oh no,
they won't be intimidated.
Not at all. But it looks to me like down there in that deep south, it's going to be a K-Row Meridian deal again. And boy, I'm telling you what, those 2 teams that will be a flat.
I don't think they got
fight.
a gym. I don't think they got a gym big enough to hold that game.
Boy,
that's
could be an exciting night.
Yeah, it will. Hey, stay tuned when we come back. We're going to visit Coach. We got Jerremy Varner next from the Hamilton County Foxes. We'll talk to him coming up next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Heard the old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, there's actually a lot of truth to that, and you can get one-on-one instruction in baseball, softball, basketball, as well as speed and agility drills at the Sports Zone in Fairfield. The Sports Zone has been in business for quite some time now and has helped many area boy and girl athletes excel in their sport of choice. Lessons and practice times are available at convenient times that meet your schedule. The Sports Zone is located on Delaware Street in Fairfield, and we appreciate their support.
Monthly financial support of local Christian radio is provided by Home Source Warehouse in Mount Vernon. Located 4 miles north of Mount Vernon on Route 37, Home Source Warehouse offers a warehouse full of quality furniture and mattresses with legendary service. Open Thursday and Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 3. You can find them on Facebook, and their website is homesourcewarehouse.net. Their phone number is 204-5515. Home Source Warehouse, where style is affordable.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson live in studio along with Danny Ounceman, talking about a lot of the midwinter basketball tournaments that are all kicking off this coming Monday. And again, we are focusing a little bit right now on the Benton Invitational Tournament, otherwise known as the BIT. We talked to Meridian Bobcat coach Erik Griffith a moment ago, and another team that will be there, of course, will be the Hamilton County Foxes. And joining us right now is head coach Jerremy Varner. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Great. Good to have you on the show. And are you ready for the BIT to kick off next week?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a great tournament. And I mean, this year it has 5 really, really good teams, and then, us right there too. So
hey, your team's been playing some good basketball lately, though. Foxes are greatly improved, and nobody can come in there and take you guys lightly.
Yeah, we have been playing better, and hopefully that will carry over to the tournament. I have to brag on them. They have played, extremely hard and have competed. That's one thing we really stress this year is just, compete, not just play hard, but, play to win, make smart plays, make winning plays. Every play's a battle, and, every possession it matters. And those guys have really turned it over, I think, this year, as far as, getting on the right track as far as playing together and trying to win. So,
well, Coach, one thing you have to be very excited about is your young kids. You're playing about 8 or 9 guys right now in a pretty good rotation, and going into a tournament like this Benton tournament where you're going to play all these games here in a short period of time, it's very important to have that depth.
Yeah, we sure do. We play, I think, a freshman and a couple of sophomores that, have been getting quite a few minutes. And the other night against DuQuoin, I think we had just that, a freshman, 2 sophomores in there for almost the last 8 minutes of the game, I think, and they may have had a couple other guys sub in there for the last minute, but they've been getting some big minutes, and once they've got on the floor, it's been hard to take them off. So, that depth, like you said, this many games in a short amount of time, we'll definitely have to count on them.
Well, it was nice to see your senior Jake Whipple back out on the floor the other night. He had a nice game on Thursday night there, coming off of that nose injury. He's had some awful bad luck with that deal right there.
Yeah, he has. He's been tough as nails, too, through it all. He never wanted to sit out a game. He was cleared for the 2 games in between that he missed, but, it's just one of those deals. If he hits, if he got his nose hit again, it wasn't gonna be good for him. I knew the pain he was going through, and he wanted to play, but he did. He came back and had a good game Thursday, and he showed what we missed the 2 games before.
Your team's going to open on Monday night against the Benton Rangers, and like you said, there will be no easy challenges this week, but you're going to start off with the fire right off the bat.
Yeah. We played them earlier. They've gotten better.
But so have you.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it should be a good test, and got to play them early in the week. I mean, that really sets the stage for the rest of the week. Coming out, and I think I've heard several people say that there should be good games throughout the tournament. Every night, that there's not really going to be a night off for anybody. And I think that's the way our kids are going into it too. They're ready for the competition. They're ready for the battle, and they don't quit. And looking forward to getting a rematch and seeing how that goes.
Yeah, your team is playing some pretty good basketball. They've learned to value the basketball, Jerremy, and I see a lot of good things, and I'm very impressed with your young freshman. I think he's going to be a whale of a ball player before he's done.
I do too. He's really coming on. He this summer even he traveled with the varsity a little bit, and he just competed. Just straight out of 8th grade, came in and competed, and I thought, how am I not going to start this kid? When this winter, even this last summer, but he's kind of got a little taste of the varsity action, and trying to move him in, and not having to throw him into the fire, so to speak, has been good, and he started a couple games here, the last couple games, and he's been pretty good. He's accepted that and taken the challenge for sure.
Your 2 sophomores are playing with much more confidence. It just seems like every game their confidence level's coming to another deal. And then you got your senior leadership with Van Abema, Whipple, and Matt Rubenacker. And Matt does a nice job running that point guard position out there. He does a lot of things in a game that goes unnoticed.
Yeah, he does. He gets us going. I think a lot of the times things open up, and our post players open up because of the attention he draws with the basketball. He's pretty good about driving into the lane and getting some contact. He's an excellent free throw shooter, and he definitely. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Speaking of free throws, that seems to be the biggest chink in your armor right now.
Yeah. If we get the right people on the line, it works out all right.
Yeah, I don't know, some nights you shoot them really well. Some nights you're about that 50-55% range, and in close ball games, that won't get the job done.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
it's not that you don't work on them. There ain't no telling how many free throws you shoot in a week of practice. I know, Coach. I've witnessed it myself, and kind of like Clint Weinmiller. He had a young lady the other night, missed 8 in a row, and at halftime, he didn't even let her go to the locker room. He just told her, go out there and shoot free throws. As soon as he walked down into the gym, she walked to the same line. She missed 8 in a row, and she made 9 in a row, and the fans stood up and gave her a hand.
Well, I wish I had a magic potion for that. I don't know. I mean, it's not lack of focus or lack of effort. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get better and we'll have a good week this week. That's all I say. We'll try to look at it a positive way, and this will be our best 5-game stretch of free throws we've had all year.
Well, I like your way of thinking, Coach. I like your way of thinking there. But no, your Foxes team's playing much, much better, and I'm not really sure there's anybody looking forward to playing your Foxes team this week.
Well, I hope we can live up to that, and I think we will. I mean, this senior group is they want to win. I mean, they've won in other things. I mean, you've got a couple kids that have gone to state in cross country and track and golf, and they're just a group of winners, and that's what they want to do. And I think that's what they brought this year, is that same mentality. Is they're not going to settle, and they're not going to quit, and hopefully that gets passed on to the juniors and sophomores and freshmen that are coming up, and I think they're kind of seeing it and creating a culture that's, a winning culture. So.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here this morning. I want to wish your team the best of luck over there, and as always, if you can't make it over, you'll be able to see the games live on foxesfans.net this week.
Okay, sounds good, guys. Appreciate you having me.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Good luck. Hey, bye-bye. Jerremy Varner, head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes. Again, they'll be involved in the BIT tournament at Benton next week, and they are playing much better basketball, Danny.
Once again, it's like Eric Griffith said. This is a tough week of basketball. You take that 91 Foxes team that finished third in state, they go over and go 0-5 at the BIT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, it's hard to say, but I can tell you one thing. The teams that come out of this BIT toward the top of that heap will make a pretty deep run in postseason play.
Well, that's why you play the game, too. You don't play the game on paper. You play it on the court. The Foxes open up on Monday night against the Benton Rangers at 8:30. Got the late game on Monday night. Then on Wednesday, the Foxes play Meridian at 5:30, the early game. And then next Friday, they will take on Carlisle at 5:30. And then 2 games on Saturday. They'll have a 1 o'clock game against Pinckneyville and a 7 o'clock game against Sesser.
Yep. So should be a great week of basketball.
Yep. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to another team that's going to be in that BIT, and that, of course, is the Sesser-Valier Red Devils and head coach Shane Garner. He's going to join us next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Real Life Radio thanks Fairfield Printing and Graphics for their partnership in local Christian radio ministry. Fairfield Printing and Graphics offers custom sizing for banners and signs, as well as yard signs, corrugated signs, and metal signs. Fairfield Printing and Graphics also specializes in custom t-shirts, business cards, wedding invitations, hats, bags, and much more. They are located at number 5 Williamson Drive in Fairfield, and their phone number is 842-4048.
Choosing a construction company is a big decision because many companies come and go. That's why Greenwald & Sons Construction is a name you can trust. With over 40 years of experience, Greenwald & Sons Construction in Wayne City and Mount Vernon specialize in residential and commercial construction, as well as remodeling. They'll be happy to talk to you about a church addition, business expansion, or new home construction. Greenwald & Sons Construction, the experts you can depend upon. Their number is 895-2044.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine would like to thank Mount Vernon's newest resale store, Helping Hands Thrift Shop, for their financial support. Helping Hands Thrift Shop carries household items, clothing, furniture, music and videos, plus much more, and is committed to giving back to Jefferson County through organizations who honor God by helping others in need. Helping Hands Thrift Shop is located at 4110 Broadway in Mount Vernon, directly across the street from Hobby Lobby, and they accept donations at any time. Their hours are 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 2 on Saturdays. They can be reached at 214-7891.
Yeah, welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Ounselman. We've been talking about a lot of the midwinter basketball tournaments this morning that are going to begin next week. And, of course, the BIT, the Benton Invitational Tournament, is a tournament that a lot of people are focusing on. We've had a couple of coaches on from the tournament already this morning, and let's go to another one right now, and that is head coach Shane Garner of the Sesser-Valier Red Devils. Good morning, Shane. How are you?
Very good. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Great. Good to have you on the show, and going to be an exciting week next week down at Benton with that tournament, the Benton Invitational Tournament. It's going to be very, very competitive. Yep.
it's always a tough week, a full week of competition against some quality opponents, and night in, night out. So it's a great week for the kids. They get excited about it. So we're very much looking forward to it.
Well, and you're enjoying some success of your own this year. You've had some great wins this year with your Red Devils. Talk about the season thus far.
Yeah, we're off to a good roll right now. We started off kind of a rocky start with our point guard down, Garner. We started off the year 1-4, coming out of the DuQuoin tournament, and then we lost to Okawville. But I think we've won, 9 out of our last 11 or 10 out of our last 12, something like that. Rolling into the VIT next week. So, our kids' mindsets are pretty good right now. We've had some good conference wins. We're undefeated in our conference, and so they're in a good place mentally, and everybody's getting healthy. So we're looking forward to next week.
You had a heartbreaking loss there in your own tournament to Goreville, 65-63. Talk about that championship game.
Yeah, that was a fun atmosphere. It's been a couple weeks past, so I can say that now. But it was a great atmosphere against two quality teams. Conference opponents. It was kind of neat. Because that was kind of the old rivalry back in the early '90s. Sesser-Goreville going at each other in the holiday tournament, and our kids played well. We just kind of made some mistakes down the road, gave it up. They capitalized on it, came out with a win. But we were able to play them again 9 days later, and in a conference game, and was able to get back on top of them there. So
right.
our kids kind of moved past that.
Right.
Looking forward.
I started to say you picked up a big win on them on Tuesday night, 64-48. Talk a little bit about that game.
Yeah, that was coming into it, if you were to watch the first half, you would have thought both teams maybe were 2-11 instead of 11-2. But I think our kids were a little wound up. I think their kids were a little wound up. It was a big game for everybody. A lot of turnovers, a lot of mental mistakes in the first half, but we were able to calm down the second half, take care of the ball a little bit better, finish at the rim better, and we made our free throws down the stretch and came out with a win.
Well, looking at the BIT this week, Shane, what some of your thoughts there?
It's obviously we love getting to be able to play Meridian. Another one of the bigger names in 1A down here in the South. So it's always a fun game to play, and then you come back and get to play Peakyville and Benton back to back. Those are just things that we don't get to do on a normal basis. So we love the competition, love being able to get to play bigger schools, and I think the biggest thing for the week for us is just we get to learn. Because we know that the bigger schools they're gonna take advantage of things that they see in us that are weaknesses. So coming out of the week, we get to learn on maybe where we're weak at. We get exposed in some areas, and get to work on that following week.
Well, for your kids to be able to play there at Rich Aaron Gym, it's one of the better facilities around Southern Illinois. There'll be some nice crowds on hand, and when we get out to those Saturday games, there'll be some big crowds.
Absolutely, and that's one of the biggest things that we get coming out of this tournament is our kids get to play in front of a lot of people in a big gym, and and if we want to have success in the postseason in 1A, this is exactly where we can get it. We play against bigger schools, bigger opponents, and we get to play in a big gym against a lot of people, so we get that experience there. That way, hopefully, the end of February, beginning of March, those things maybe aren't so new to us.
Right, and then you hopefully won't be as intimidated when you get into regional play too, because you've played in front of the big crowds against the big teams.
Absolutely, back in 2014 when we went to state tournament, 2010, the best teams we played all year were in that BIT.
Sure.
So there aren't any teams that we play in the postseason that'll be better than Pinkyville or Benton or any of those things. So it's a good advantage for us, and it's hard to keep our kids in that right mindset that they're getting better throughout this week, no matter what our record is, and we can use that down the road.
Well, and it's got to be an exciting time for your fans. This is a nice little close road trip for your fans, and anybody that wants to get out and follow your team can make it over there, and don't have to worry about a seat. And it's just a great week of basketball.
Yes, absolutely. I think you hit the nail around there. It is a great week of basketball with some great programs, great communities, and people that just love their kids and love basketball. It is a fun thing that does a phenomenal job of putting on the tournament and making it accessible to everybody. And like you said earlier, you get to play in Rich Aaron Gymnasium. That's something special that these kids will remember for the rest of their lives. I remember last year, us in Hamilton County, we're playing in that 7 o'clock slot, and then you had the big powerhouses Benton and Pinkyville coming in after us. So I told our kids, there's a lot of people show up to watch you guys play this game, so you better take advantage of it. And we did that and had a lot of fun. So it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, as far as the weather's been concerned, you guys did the approach that a lot of schools did, and you moved your Friday game last night up to Thursday, and you played that game against Ziegler-Royalton on Thursday night, and that was good to go ahead and get that done, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And we were talking about that. Obviously we came off an emotional game on Tuesday against Goreville. but we thought it was in our best interest to try to get that game in as soon as possible. That way, you know, our kids were able to rest yesterday. We can kind of walk through stuff today and get another day of rest in tomorrow heading into the week, because if you've talked to anyone who's played in this tournament, I think the biggest thing they'll tell you is that it is a grind on your body in your mind, just playing night in, night out against the physical teams that you're going to play. So we're going to take advantage of that rest going into this week.
Well, you know, Coach, that's one thing. There's not a lot of preparation time. You know, this is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then 2 rounds on Saturday. So by the end of the week, you know, you get out there on that Friday, Saturday games, you could play 3 games in less than 48 hours there, 36 hours actually.
Absolutely, and that's what I think, you know, that builds that toughness that necessarily you can't get in any other way. You know, your kids got to get tough, or they're going to get their butt beat. And so, you know, there's not a whole lot of this is what they do, this is what we need to do. It's a whole lot of just showing up and doing things right and being the team that's going to be the hardest working team on the floor.
Well, you know, it's kind of like Phil Leboy said. He approaches his Flora Wolves. He said, you know what? Our goal is to go out and get better at what we do. And he said in tournaments like that, you don't have time to worry about what the other people do. He said you just got to do what you do good and let the chips fall where they fall.
Absolutely, and that's 100% where we're going to be at. And like I said, this week is about getting better and getting better at what we do. And I think you hit the nail right on the head there.
Got to practice today, getting ready for the tournament, or you getting them the day off?
Yeah, guys are coming in here at 10. We're getting ready to get loose and get up and down the floor a little bit. Had a day off yesterday, and hopefully, we'll be in good spirits today, and we'll set the table for this week.
Mm-hmm. You still involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes there at Sesser-Valier High School?
Absolutely, yeah. We meet in my room every Wednesday morning. Have a good chunk of our kids, and it's something that's become very strong here at our school, and we're thankful and very blessed to be a part of it.
Still got Scott Tickner helping you down there with all that as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We still got Coach T helping out. You know, he's a little bit under the weather here the past couple of months, so we've been, praying for him and lifting him up. But he's a great addition to our staff here at Sesser-Valier.
Yeah, great. All right, Coach, well, we appreciate your time this morning. We'll let you go, and best of luck next week in the Benton Invitational Tournament, okay?
Thank you guys. Greatly appreciate it.
All right, you bet. Take care. Bye-bye. Shane Garner, head coach of the Sesser-Valier Red Devils, and, that was a big win for them coming back and avenging that loss to Goreville in the championship of their own tournament there, Danny, when they came back and won.
Well, like
later.
You said, that was 9 days later, and they had the sting of that.
Yeah.
And, that's one of those times you'd like to be in the locker room and just hear some of the thought process coming out of there.
Well, and another game, we didn't mention it to him or talk about it, but I was going back and looking at scores. They took out their frustration on Trico, too, after that holiday tournament. They beat Trico 74-42.
And Trico's got a nice team.
Yeah, so they came out a little bit angry after that loss at Sesser-Valier tournament, and they took it out on Trico by 32 points.
Well, there's some nights you just soon not play guys because you know that you're staring down the barrel of a loaded shotgun and they're getting ready to go off.
It's almost like somebody had kicked the dog, and the dog decided to bite back. But Trico might have wondered what in the world bit them that night. But
I guarantee you they knew what hit them. They just didn't know how to keep it from happening.
The Red Devils were motivated and ready to play after that tough 2-point defeat in their own tournament. But Shane does a good job.
They've been a nice addition to that BIT. Their fans have been a nice addition to that. It's going to be an exciting week of basketball.
Yeah, and them being a 1A school, again, playing all these 2A schools, it just bodes well for Sesser-Valier and prepping them for postseason play.
Well, you heard him say in 2010, 2014, he thought it was a major impact on their state championship runs there.
Right, because it molded them and made them such a tougher team against the 1A. And then you get used to playing against big crowds in pressure situations, too, because, it will be big crowds and pressure situations when they play Benton and Pinckneyville in that tournament.
Oh, yeah, and like I said, he's going to start off with Meridian Bobcats tomorrow night. And I guarantee you, you talk about a game that's going to get up and down the floor because Sesser likes to get up and down the floor. There will be a lot of action in that game on Monday night.
Oh, it will be. What a way to start the tournament at 5:30 on Monday night between those two. That'll be crazy. Hey, we're going to talk some girls basketball this morning, too. We're going to visit with Coach Todd Countryman of the Flora Wolfgals. It's coming up next on the Sports Couch, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with Todd.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine thanks Wibbles Repair and Sales in McLeansboro for their monthly underwriting support of local Christian radio. They repair small engines and ag equipment, and they sell small engine parts, including oil filters and belts. They have agriculture aftermarket parts, interstate batteries, big truck parts, and truck lighting. As Steel and Husqvarna dealers, they offer a wide variety of chainsaws, trimmers, and cut-off saws. Wibbles Repair and Sales in McLeansboro. Their phone number, 618-648-2227. Open Monday through Friday, Saturdays till noon.
Crawford Plumbing LLC in Woodlawn is licensed, bonded, insured, and ready to serve your household and business plumbing needs. From leaky faucets to complete plumbing systems and repair, Crawford Plumbing in Woodlawn is a full-service plumbing company. They can be reached at 618-242-3360. Crawford Plumbing in Woodlawn is a proud underwriting sponsor of Real Life Radio.
90.9 The Vine thanks Gina Down Country Financial for underwriting support. With help from Gina Down and Country Financial, you can own your future. All you need is the right plan to get you started, the kind of plan that will take into account all the things in your life that matter most. Gina Down can work with you to put the pieces in place with insurance solutions to help secure a comfortable tomorrow. Gina's office is located at 814 Harrison Street in Mount Vernon, and her phone number is 618-242-4512.
During these cold winter days, it's important to have a very energy-efficient heating system for your home in order to keep your electric bills in check. Wayne White County's Electric Cooperative wants to remind all of their customers that they have incentive rebate checks available as high as $2,500 if you replace your electric furnace or electric baseboard heat with a dual fuel heat pump. As a result, you'll enjoy greater comfort and lower electric bills. Find out more by contacting Wayne White County's Electric Cooperative in Fairfield. The phone number is 842-2196. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now on AreaSports.net and live audio streaming on the Vine website at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Ounselman. We've talked a lot of boys basketball this morning, Danny, but we want to talk some girls basketball too. And Todd Countryman of the Flora Wolf Gals is going to join us on the phone right now. Good morning, Todd. How are you doing?
Good. I'm pretty good. How about you guys?
Great. Good to have you on the show. And apologize we hadn't got you on earlier this year. But usually we talk to you a few times a season, and we just hadn't got to you this year. But we wanted to do that. So tell us how it's going so far for the Wolf Gals this year.
So far, we're 12-8. I believe we're 3-2 in the conference right now. We open up with conference tournament play this afternoon at 4:30 up at KZ against KZ Westfield. But no, we've had a pretty good year so far. We played some good teams. We've had a lot of close games that we were on the short end of, but we're fairly young. We got 2 seniors and 3 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 8 freshmen. So. We're gaining a lot of valuable experience, with that youth. So now the girls are really doing a good job. We've been playing a lot better here, the last about 4 or 5 games, and I'm really excited to see how we do here in this tournament and the last part of the year going into the postseason.
Yeah, well, for those people who are watching our live video stream right now, I've got a team picture of your Wolf Gals up on the screen right now on AreaSports.net. Looks like you got a little bit of size there in the back row. Tell us about what kind of size you got this year.
Well, we got some size, but a lot of it's young.
Okay.
A lot of those girls you see there are freshmen.
Oh, wow.
Number 15, Sydney Cameron, and number 34, Casey Jennings. Those are my 2 seniors.
Okay.
And they're 3-year starters for me. They came in as freshmen my first year as the girls coach. And they've really stepped up this year as far as taking the leadership role, as well as they're our 2 leading scorers. Our 2 leading rebounders. Sydney, she's really, really evolved her game as far as attacking the basket more this year. She a threat to shoot the three. I think she's hit 45 threes on the year so far. She's had some big games here lately. Up at Newton, she had 23, and then up at T-Town before that, she had 20. She had her first 20 actually up there. But a lot of that's, the other size you see there are all freshmen. And then, we got the three juniors, Kirsten Darrow, Gracie Heimlich, and Jaren Allen. They're all about 5'2", 5'3". So those are my two seniors and three juniors are my starting five. And then, like I said, I bring four freshmen off the bench, Emma Walden, Taylor Brown, and Jency Binky. There's three of the tall girls in back. And then Bryn Phillips is a guard. She comes in as well off the bench. So, we got some experience there in the starting lineup, but then off the bench, we're really, really young.
Well, that size that you got as freshmen, boy, that bodes well for the future.
Yeah, it does. I'm really excited for, to see how they progress. They've really, really come a long way this year. We had them over the summer, and I saw a lot of good things out of them, and now I'm telling my coach and staff, this is really, we've really got a good group here, and, a lot of size, a lot of talent, and even at the junior high level, coming in 8th grade, there's a lot of, our 8th grade team is actually bigger than what our freshmen are this year as far as size-wise. So, we got a lot of size coming in, and then 7th grade, a bunch of guards coming in. So, excuse me, we have a lot of interest right now here in Flora girls basketball, and, we could attribute that to the success we've had the last couple of years. But, the girls really have taken to what we want them to do, and, they've, like I said, it's just really exciting to see how they do the rest of this year as well as, in the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. You say you are playing up at Casey Westfield today against Casey in the Little Illini Conference Tournament. So who has been the top teams in the conference so far this year, Todd?
Alney, so far, Alney is they're 6-0, I believe, in the conference. We played them last Thursday at our place, and we came out in a triangle and two against them, against their two best players, and it worked pretty well. But we shot 9 of 54 from the field.
Oh,
so it was one of those nights. It didn't matter who was shooting from where. It didn't matter if it was a three or a layup. It just wasn't going to go in that night. But they're the 1 seed, and then Paris is the 2 seed. I went and watched Alney and Paris right before Christmas, and Alney got them by 3 on a buzzer beater. And then Marshall's the 3, and then Casey's the 4, and we're the 5, which I expected us to be in this 4-5 game. I wasn't expecting to be the 5 seed, but that nothing we could do about that. We played at Marshall right before Christmas, and that was one of those games where we had it. We just weren't able to finish it. But those are about the top 5 in our conference this year.
So does the LIC tournament, is it all played at Casey, or does it move it around to a couple sites?
It's up at Casey. The
okay,
whole thing.
The whole thing's there.
Thursday night, the playing game was Robinson and Red Hill, which Robinson won, and then today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are all at Casey.
Yeah, okay. Well, you recently competed, I know, in the Mary Mule tournament at Fairfield, and I know you got a win there against Carmel, and, well, you found yourself in the championship game against T-Town, and of course, they won. But hey, how good is that T-Town girls team this year?
They're really, really good. They, the thing is with them, we played them in the Christmas tournament, and they got us pretty good. And then we went back up there about a week later, and we adjusted, and we hung with them for the first 3.5 quarters. But they're so big, and they got so many weapons, and they are. This is probably one of the better T-Town teams. This is my 4th year coaching girls, and I would say, I'd say they're probably one of the top teams they've had since I've started coaching.
No kidding.
But they're. I know a couple of years ago they got 2nd, but they're so big. I mean, they bring, even off the bench, they bring 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", and they're quick, and so losing to them in the way that we did was not. I mean, it wasn't like we played terrible. They're just that good.
Wow.
Well, Coach, kind of an interesting thing. You talk about the Alney Tigers. Mark Onselman, he is my first cousin. That is the head coach up there at Alney.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, he's the head coach up there.
Okay.
And you mentioned T-Town and how big they are, and you've played them. Have you had a chance to see the Harrisburg Lady Bulldogs this year?
I saw them over the summer when we went to Olney. I had a bunch of the younger girls with me, and I saw them. We played them there, and then when we went to DuQuoin, we didn't play them, fortunately, but I saw them play. But I'm not surprised that they're having as well of a season as they are, because what I saw this summer, they got all the tools there to make a deep postseason run.
Yeah, they're the number 1 ranked team in 2A right now, and they are definitely the real deal.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. I haven't seen them play in person. I've been reading stuff online and talking to when we were down at the Fairfield Mary Mule. I talked to a couple people down there, and they said, if you get a chance to go see them play, you need to. And I was like, well, if they make it all the way to the Super, it's up here and it's up in Salem, so it won't be too far of a drive for me.
Yeah. I was looking at the scores also from the Thanksgiving tournament. You played at the tournament at Newton, and looked like you got a win over Newton in that tournament. Lost a tough one to Altamont, and I think you also got to play Effingham in that tournament.
Yeah, we did, and we also beat Vandalia as well.
Okay, great. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Effingham, you talk about a team that's the real deal. I know they're 3A, but they're also the real deal. I'd like to them and T-Town. They play, I think, towards the end of the month. I wouldn't mind seeing that game because they match up. They match up pretty well. But that Altamont game, we were like, if I remember right, like 14 out of 27 from the line, and lost by 3. That's one game that we kind of look back on it. We could have, should have, would have, but they're and Altamont's they're no slouch. I believe they were getting some votes in 1A a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we go up there and we play some good competition. And like you said, we beat Newton. We ended up beating them by 1 there, and then we went up to Newton Monday and had them down 41-10 at one point. Mm-hmm. So it was it was good to see us progress. Because that's kind of the thing we look at is if we play a team more than once, how do we fare from one first matchup to the next?
Right.
And and it was nice to see how much we had improved from that early season game. But no, it was, like I said, we open up when we play some tough competition early on, and that's what we try to do that and get these girls ready as we go later.
Right. Well, as you play Casey Westfield this afternoon in the Little Illini Conference Tournament, have you faced Casey already once this year?
No, we have not. We actually, the funny thing is we go up there for the tournament, and then we turn around and go back up there again on Monday, the 22nd. Uh-huh. So I was joking with my AD, we need to rent out some houses or something.
Yeah.
We're going to be up there all week and then have to turn around and go back there.
Hey, that's a drive. Yeah, that's a drive.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's about about an hour and 15 on a bus.
Right.
No, we had. I got some film on them, and we prepared and practiced this week for them. So I'm feeling pretty confident going into today's game, and we'll just see what happens.
What time is that game today, Coach?
It's at 4:30.
Okay. And then who's in your bracket in case you win that game today? Who you got?
Almy. Almy and Robbins will play before us at 3:00.
Okay.
So if we win, more than likely we'll play Almy in the semifinals. And then on the opposite side is Paris and Lawrence are in the 2-7 matchup, and then Newton and Marshall are in the 3-6.
Well, maybe if you play Olney, maybe Danny can call his cousin and tell him to leave a couple girls at home or something,
Yeah, go ahead and have him tell him to leave Luna and McCrone home, and that way, and we'll show up there Tuesday and play them.
Yeah, I don't think I can get that done. I have a little influence with him, but I don't think I can help you, Coach. I feel your pain, but I don't think I can make it happen.
Well, the reason why I say that is because Sydney Cameron, she's gone over in Europe right now playing softball. She got invited over the summer to go over to the Netherlands and play in I don't exactly know the name of it, and she signed in November to go play softball at Eastern. So
wow.
I mean, I've known this since early August. So, but yeah, if you could put that bug in his ear, that'd be great. He won't be back until Wednesday.
All right. Well, Todd, we appreciate your time on the Sports Couch this morning. Always fun talking to you, and best of luck this afternoon against Casey Westfield in that LIC tournament. All right.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Take care. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Todd Countryman, the head coach of the girls program up there at Flora. Todd does a good job. He does. And, man, he's got some young girls right now.
It sounds to me like he's going to be loaded.
Oh, man, he's got some size coming up. He may have some size to go up against T-Town here in a few years, you know.
Said the 8th grade girls were bigger.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
And the 7th grade girls are all guards. You notice he throws that in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, he is building a good program up there and kind of fostering this idea of, building upon success, breed success. And so the girls up here at Flora, they want to play basketball.
Right.
They want to play basketball. And that's what happens when you get a winning
breeds
program.
winning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else you got for me, Danny?
How about your St. Louis Cardinals? The news media is starting to get a little nervous with the front office.
Well, yeah. This weekend is the winter warm-up over in St. Louis, and the Cardinal Caravan is coming to Mount Vernon tomorrow afternoon, and I'm going to be there tomorrow during
Here,
the media time.
I'm going to read you a little something.
Okay, read it. Go ahead.
My question is, can this team, as it is constructed on the first day of the 22nd annual winter warm-up, expect anyone to believe that the 12th World Series championship is within reach?
Did you ask that question, or who did?
Ben Fredericks.
Okay, and then what was the answer?
He said, do you believe that? I mean, as the autograph buyers and the ticket holders, the folks who spend the money and the new terrace above Daxter Fowler's head, do you really believe that? He said, I don't see it. All I can say is that someone who's generally optimistic about the impact of Ozuna on a power-hungry lineup, I think he could have the best outfield in baseball, but his problem is the pitching.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to be better, but until they definitely solve the problem with the relief pitching.
Not only the lack of a closer, but just the unproven rotation.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you're giving up the Bulldog guy and Lance Lynn, and you don't have anybody else that pitched over 170 innings.
Good point. And, is Wainwright going to really be effective? I mean, this is his final year of his contract, but is he realistically going to be effective this year?
Him and Mikolas both betting on them to prove their critics wrong. He said that's a pretty far reach.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that,
Cardinals blew 17 saves in the 9th inning last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then if you expand that more about the leads that they blew after the 7th inning, I think the number's like 27 or 28 games that we blew with leads after the 7th inning.
Well, if you just win half of those 17 games, you run away with the division.
I agree.
Yep. So, really the Cardinals have made one move.
Mm-hmm.
They've signed some no-name guys that they hope are going to come back and have, but you don't win world championship with no-name guys.
Well, they got Grichuk taken care of with the arbitrator. He is going to get, $2.5 million or something, I think.
They solved all that. Walk is going to go over $5 million.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can have another solid year, but that thought process is always in your mind. They've got some nice young arms coming, but you still got to have leaders.
I am amazed, and I'm not just talking about the Cardinals, I'm just amazed in Major League Baseball overall, the number of free agents, particularly pitchers, that are still out there that are unsigned. There's a lot of.
They're all represented by the same
guy.
Well,
a lot of them are represented by Boros. You're exactly right. But, man, there's a lot of players out there that are unsigned, and you have to start wondering, do we have a little bit of collusion going on between some of the owners that some of them just decide, you know what, we're just not going to pay that kind of money?
I think you are seeing that. I think the owners have got together and said, look, we've got to stop this. This is, I don't know why baseball hasn't done it. They've got a salary cap in basketball. They've got a salary cap in football, and both of those are working well. And this baseball deal, Donaldson signs a one-year contract for $23 million.
Yeah.
Now, come on.
Yeah.
There's no one player worth $23 million for a season.
Yeah.
That's as bad as Grichuk getting $2.5 million for 1 year.
Yeah.
Here's a 4A ball player that's going to make $2.5 million.
Yeah. There are a lot of unsigned free agents out there, and you just
there's a lot of
what's
people.
going to happen.
There's a lot of people that could help the Cardinals team out there floating around. You still think that there's surely some trades to come, but you just can't keep sitting here. Spring training's going to be around the
Oh
corner.
yeah. It's actually starting earlier this year too.
So
starting earlier this year. So
the natives are starting to get restless.
They are. Well, anyway, what I started to say was Cardinal Caravan's coming to Mount Vernon tomorrow. Al Raboski and Dan McLaughlin from Fox Sports Midwest will be there with the Cardinals that are coming to Mount Vernon at the Roland Lewis building tomorrow afternoon. And they're going to have about a 30-minute media time, and I'm going to stick my head in during that and see if I can corner Dan and Al and ask them a couple questions, get their feedback, their thoughts on, what are we going to do? Are we going to make some more moves or not? Because they've got their ear a little bit closer to the ground than you and I do, so maybe they got some insight on what's happening.
Well,
be worth asking them.
Yeah,
anyway.
right. It's always nice to hear somebody on the inner loop talk and see what their thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they know any more than the rest
Well,
of us,
and they may not. They may not, but we'll ask them and see, and then we'll report back.
Report back. I like that.
All right. Hey, well, we'll get out of here. I think we're out of time. Danny, you got games from the BIT next week beginning on Monday night on foxesfans.net.
Yeah, we'll have a couple games on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then we'll have all 6 on Saturday.
Going to be a great week of basketball, so tune in for that. All right. Well, appreciate everybody joining us this morning on the Sports Couch, and appreciate all the guests. Have yourself a good weekend, and stay warm. So long.
This is your home for best Christian music.
WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, Mount Vernon.